Hey everybody. Good evening, good evening. How are you doing? I hope you're doing wonderful. I definitely hope that you are well, your family is well, your friends are well, your pets are well, your plants are well, everything. I just hope that everything is all good all the way around. And if it's not, I hope that you are maintaining through it. Just remember the storm will pass. The things you're going through, it's really difficult oftentimes. Like sometimes you don't even think you're going to make it. You don't think you will. But remember, that's an emotion. That's a feeling, a thought. You can't predict the future like that. You can't, well, you could, but don't. Meaning, if you spew out depressing things all the time, you're going to have a depressing life. If you spew out a bunch of lies all the time, you're going to get that back. But if you are doing positive things, guess what? You're going to get positive things back. So it's a change in the attitude because these hard times that you're going through, they're going to pass. You might not believe it's going to get easier again, but it will. And we're going to get through it together because I know I find myself feeling like that sometimes. And I just need a reminder that no, it's not woe is you. No, this is a new you. This is a new beginning. Every second is a new opportunity to do new things. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. So I was on the opposite side of not doing well. I was really sad to read about Robert De Niro's grandchild passing away. Am I surprised? No, I am not surprised. I actually expected some type of disaster to come in some way, shape, or form. Why? Because him and his lady had just had their last child less than 3 months ago. So I forgot the exact date, but it's been like 2.5 months. So you know how it often goes. You hear it all the time when someone passes away. You hear it the opposite. When someone passes away, someone's going to be born. We hear that all the time. And then things often happen that way, and then they happen in threes. So if you think about it, is it shocking? No, especially if you could see the patterns. If you know the occult helps a lot. If you know witchcraft and if you know uh, other crafts, then you already know. You could look at the star alignments and read what rituals are going on which day. Also, if you know the satanic calendar and the witches calendar, you know what day, what rituals occur and in what season, because nothing is by chance. No, nothing is by chance. Everything happens. Well, no, we're not going to take it the negative way. Everything happens for a reason, and that's a learning experience. It may not always be positive feeling. We may not understand why we're going through it, but it's a learning opportunity, and sometimes you just got to keep pushing through. Yeah. But I keep getting off track a little bit. Uh, But I'm saying it's not hard, going back to what I was talking about before I distracted myself. It's not hard to see the cycles of a lot of different things, especially with people in the entertainment industry, because there are different types of offerings that could be made depending on the type of deal they have made. I'm just going to be real vague there. Some of these people willingly go in it and say that they'll sacrifice people literally to get ahead. And then there are people who will just sacrifice other things like their integrity, their honor. They'll go against their own moral code. That often goes with humiliation rituals. Yes, humiliation rituals. But anyway, what I think is going to happen next is within the next year, maybe 2 years max, De Niro's going to have something big happen. Either he's going to come out in a really big movie or something big. Because usually after someone dies, the famous person gets more famous, or needed the publicity and the energy to push him forward onto his next step. But I don't know, I really am praying for everybody. I just hope everyone tries their best to be their highest good self, the most beneficial self to your soul. You got to do what feels right for you in your heart, but remember, what you put out, you're going to get back. So act with integrity and honor, because yeah, it's the right thing to do, but karma's going to come back at some point, and it's going to get you, whether you want to admit it or not. And then later on, when things start happening and you're like, why is all this happening? Well, during your life, something happened, and you are cleansing that karmic debt by experiencing the consequences of it and hopefully learning from it and starting new. And that's another thing with death rituals. A death ritual in itself doesn't have to necessarily mean the physical passing of somebody. Just like with tarot cards, the death card represents change. So something's going to happen. It may push you out of your comfort zone. You might be scared, but then you try something new, and then it turns out to be like the best thing for you. And it may have been difficult to get there because you were afraid to do whatever. But now that you've pushed through it, you're on to a new beginning. So it's like a death of your old self, a death of your old belief system, because you're on a quest for true knowledge of self oftentimes. Especially, like, I know for me, I am on a quest for knowledge of true self, because I have found that oftentimes in my life I have done what others wanted me to do, but not necessarily what I wanted to do. So I have to explore, what would I truly like to do or try. And it could be a process. It's, especially if you don't fully know yourself because you haven't explored that fully. You just got, I'm way off track again. I am sorry. I'm like having an ADD moment. I was talking about death, then rebirth. Oh, well, I guess it goes in alignment. I guess it works in a weird way. And I'm just talking. And those of you who watch my videos know sometimes I ramble a bit and get off course. Embarrassing, but I'm working on it. That has to be the ADD. But death doesn't have to be a physical death all the time. Sometimes it's just a loss of your old self, a shedding of the skin, like a snake. A snake sheds its skin, right, when it's molting or whatever. No, that's what birds do. Wow. Okay. Change, in other words, is not always bad. Sometimes it's hard, but you have to sometimes die to your old self and to your old ways and jump into something new so you could have a new experience. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, at least you tried. Shit. And stop being worried about if people are going to laugh at you, or if you'll be embarrassed, or, what all these other people may say. It doesn't matter really, because you're the one living through it. And if you are trying to get to a higher place, you got to continue operating at your highest self, not other people's highest expectations, but you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm all over the place. I am definitely sending well wishes and prayers to Robert De Niro and his family, especially his daughter, because I can't imagine losing a child. I can, uh, I can, uh, my daughter has cancer, but I don't think she's going to die, so it's not quite the same. I have a fear, of course, of death for anybody, and any, not fear per se, expectation of death of everybody at some point. But do I think it's my daughter's time? No. And she's young, she's 23. And I was worried, a little bit about the cancer, like, damn, she's going to get really sick. She's going to go through a lot of stuff. But I wasn't really thinking she's going to die. It's over. No, it was just like, damn, it's a bummer because she's going to miss out on right now because she's going to be sick with chemo and radiation. Uh, but it'll get better. Just like I was talking about when I was sitting on the swing saying that, you might be at the hardest point in your life and think you're not going to make it. And then you make it. And then you're so proud of yourself later on, like, I did that shit. I made it through what I didn't think I could survive. And then that just shows your strength and your willingness to continue moving forward and hopefully continuing to grow. So, yeah. Okay, but anyway, my sympathies are with the De Niros and the rest of them. I hope that they have a good support system and are getting through this to the best of their ability. I'm going to throw in since I was talking about my daughter, I got to throw in a fuck you, cancer, since that's, what my daughter is recovering from. So, yeah. All right, everyone, I have rambled enough. I shall talk to you later. Peace.